Hello class, Ryan here, and for this video tutorial I'll walk you through exercise 13-1 of your text. It says to draw a spur gear with 24 teeth on a 4.00 pitch circle. The fillets at the base of each tooth have a radius of 1/16 of an inch. Locate a 1-inch diameter mounting hole at the center of the gear. So what I've done for you is I've pulled in the terms and formulas from your text. So here are the acronym with the associated term that we'll be using, and then the applicable formulas. So you actually have to do a bit of algebra, and one formula kind of feeds a variable into the next. And using this, I have calculated the diametral pitch, the addendum, the dedendum, the root diameter, and the outside diameter, which are the critical variables I need to draw the gear for this question. So you can follow along on page 621 for how I do this, but I'm just going to start off to the left with a circle. Pick a center point and say D for diameter, and we'll go ahead and draw the 4-inch base diameter. And by the way, I'm in just my standard ACAD template, which is in English feet and inches template, because this is a gear that is in inches. The next circle I need will go from the same center point, only the diameter is the root diameter of 3.708. And then my last circle, repeat that command again, would be my diameter, which is an outside diameter of 4.167. So there we have our given pitch diameter, our root diameter, and our outside diameter. And let's go ahead, just for consistency's sake, and put a center mark using your annotate tab, so we've kind of memorialized where that center point is. Now next, you're going to draw a construction line straight up, a little bit beyond your work, and we're going to array that around using the array command. Select your object like it asks and hit enter, and then pick polar, which will be a rotational array. Center point would be the center of our circles, and it'll default maybe to something like you see here with 6 objects. I'm going to hit the down arrow and go to items, and in this case, if I look at my notes here, we're going to have a total of 24 teeth, and so we'll need 4 times as many construction lines. So I'm going to do 96 construction lines. It gets looking a little bit hairy here for a moment, but we'll clean this up. So take that array, select it and do an explode. Pick the array and hit enter, and that just separates it into individual lines. Then we're going to take that center line and change the color so we have that kind of as an anchor so we don't forget where we are. And at this point we can erase a few. I'm going to keep the center 1 and 2 to the left, but I'm going to erase these others. And here I'll keep the center 1, and I'll probably keep maybe 2 to the right as well. Actually, no, I need to go a little bit farther. No, that's about right. I just need to keep 2 to the right. Okay, now I can get rid of the rest of these just with your erase command. We just did that array to get the proper angle. We could have divided 360 by 96 and done the same thing. Now what I'm going to do is a circle, and my circle is going to start at the second line right here on my root my pitch diameter, which is 4, and then the radius goes all the way out to here, which is 1 beyond. So hopefully that made sense. So we started, this is our 0 line 1, 2. We started 2 lines to the right, that's our center point of the circle, and we went 1 line to the left. So this is going to define the slope of that first tooth. Now I'm going to do a mirror command and mirror that to the other side, so we look something like that. So you can see our tooth is forming here in the middle. Now we need to do a little bit of trimming, so I'm going to trim from that outer circle, trim everything off the top, and then from this bottom circle, trim everything off the bottom, and then I can erase what's left of those 2 lines. Now to finish this, I'm going to put a little bit of a fillet on the bottom of each of these, And to do that fillet, if I just do a fillet, I might lose everything. So I'm actually going to do a trim and trim out the center of the tooth first. And then in the problem, it said that the fillet had a radius of 0.0625. Now I can do a fillet of those two, just like you see there. And it looks about right. Now I can trim away what's left of this upper to leave just our tooth. And then I want to trim, this is half a space between teeth, so I'm going to use these two outer lines to trim away that. And then I can erase everything. My center point remains, and there I have a single tooth walking through as we were told in the book to draw it. Okay, to finish this gear, we have two things to do. The first is in another array. We'll pick that single tooth that we drew, polar array, center point was the one that we memorialized down here. And if I hit the arrow, go up to items, we know this is a 24 tooth. And if I've drawn it correctly, we will have a complete gear. And that looks just about right to me. And then it says to assume you're on a 1-inch diameter mounting hole. Now if you want to play around and see how it actually meshes up with a similar gear, just copy the gear from maybe that tooth in here to, well, I guess it won't perfectly mesh because we've got the angles aren't quite right, but it would mesh up in there. As you can see, if I had my angle quite right, I'd have to rotate by half of a tooth to realign those. But regardless, this is what they're asking for. We've drawn the gear, we've got the mounting hole, we've got the correct fillets here at the bottom. So I'm going to leave the formulas here up on the screen so you can take a peek. Good luck to you on this problem.